Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. So nice to see you all. Excited to be here. I want to talk about something that is pretty common that people come to me with, as well as my clients. Sometimes are like, in our first couple sessions, they're like, well, why doesn't anything excite me? Why, when I read these job descriptions, nothing excites me? Why am I not seeing roles on LinkedIn? They're not available. I'm not seeing them in any way, shape, or form. Um, so yeah, I'm actually gonna give a very, 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 very simple solution. So you're probably gonna be like, but this is literally the solution that I work through with my clients. So it's gonna feel simple, but one thing I learned is that common knowledge isn't almost always common practice, and so sometimes we got to hold a mirror up and see, okay, like is am I actually doing the thing, right? Like actually let me look at the data and the information. Okay. So if you're the person that, you're looking to make a pivot in HR, you're looking to go to a new industry, or you're looking to go to if you're pivoting into HR for the first time, you're like, I really want an HR generalist role, or I really want something in the L&D space, right? Like exactly, pretty much what you want, right? These are for the people that like, I know what I want. I know what I want to be doing. I know that I really want to do these three things. But then you go and you read the job description and you see things like must know laws, or travels 25%, or it says things that remind you of your old job. So you're ooh, that sounds like I'm gonna be doing more things that are in the sales arena versus the stuff that I want to do in more like the L&D space, right? So I have so many examples because all my clients have had like a version of this, no matter where what their background's from, or they're like this doesn't give me any energy whatsoever. Why are they saying that? Or the job description is just boring. Like, who wrote that? I had one client that had me cracking up, where she was like, who wrote, like, this just sounds so boring, right? And so what ends up happening, y'all? Again, this might be real quick and might be real simple, but I feel like I have to say it because I'm coaching on it all the time. Is that y'all say that you're finding roles that you don't like, because y'all literally go through and you redline every single word that you see. You're like, oh, they said accountability, right? I'm just making this up to be dramatic, but I'm gonna give you some real examples. They said accountability, like what they mean by that, right? Like, and then y'all start making all these assumptions about accountability or about the one word, and I'm like, we don't know what is meant by that particular word, right? So I had a client recently as well. She was looking at a role, and she comes from a mix of sales background, right? Like sales leadership. She also has, a mix of like different HR and projects and things. She's done an HR, an MBA, internship with HR Focus, and one of the target areas that we were working on, she was looking at the job description for that particular role, and she was like, ooh, this sounds like what I was doing in sales. And I was like, okay, like walk me through what you see that is the same. I was like, it says, essentially like lead an L&D team, and it lists out the different L&D areas, right? Or the pieces of the L&D team. And she was like, oh, right. But in her mind, she read it again, made assumptions because of different reasons, right? And I'm going to talk through the different reasons why y'all are making assumptions. But because y'all are making assumptions, then you're not applying to roles that would actually excite you, because you're making assumptions on the job description. Right? I mean, big, huge leaps, because you read one word. You see law, and then you immediately think you know what that means. How much law do we actually know that you're actually having to deal with? I know on my job description, it listed out a ton of stuff. But some stuff was only 10% of my role, some stuff was 5%. Some stuff actually got taken away, even though it stayed on my job description. Some stuff went to a center of excellence, meaning like I rarely saw it. I rarely did it. So, like for example, talent acquisition was something that was on my job description. And while I did do it in the beginning of my role, right, like some years later, but like when my role was posted later, I wasn't doing talent acquisition anymore. I was on the interview process, but I wasn't sourcing candidates, right? That went to a center of excellence in my organization, a talent acquisition team, right? So y'all are reading things on job descriptions and then you're making assumptions and then you're not even applying. So if you're not seeing roles that excite you, it's because you're making assumptions and then you're not even applying to the roles, so you're not even getting the opportunity to actually learn what the role is doing. So I made a new rule for my clients on how to avoid this. I'm like, no, we need to do these 3 things before we rule out a role. Right. So we need to do these 3 things before you rule out a role. Reading the job description is one, but actually, like, y'all be putting too much energy in the job descriptions. And I was even one of my good friends and colleagues, Tashina Braxton, she was talking about how, or some organizations are getting rid of job description, or sorry, resumes, right? And the reason I bring that up is because resumes are becoming obsolete, but also job descriptions will not fall far behind. And I have another, a woman that I follow really closely, Sierra. Her last name is escaping me, but she runs an organization called Cagebird HR. And she was talking about resumes becoming obsolete. And I said, like, job descriptions got to go too. And she said they will. Right. So she's also one that's, staying up to date on workplace trends. But like these job descriptions, y'all are giving so much power to, so much power. And then you're leaving opportunities on the table. And so I want to walk you through like a couple of client scenarios and stories, but they're pretty much all kind of similar. So again, we have somebody who really knows exactly the role that she wants, but because then now she's reading these job descriptions and then one, either not applying, like I mentioned, that's why y'all are not getting the opportunities that excite you, because you're not actually applying to roles that could excite you because of what you're reading. The second is you actually do apply, you get the role, but then again, you're going through the job, combing through that job description, and you're like, I don't think this is actually what I want to do. Right. So then you start to get like, I'm about to frame a new term. It's almost like job regret, or like before you even actually apply or learn more information. So, so let's say job regret. The third thing is just a lack of knowledge or information overall and understanding, right? So it kind of ties into the first two, but I want to pull it out because there's no way to fully know what a company or organization means by what they put on a job description until you actually talk to them, right? So you do have to talk to the organization before, in my opinion, before you rule them out. That's why I made new rules for my clients, because I'm listen, we're gonna check off these 3 things, and I might actually extend it to 5 things before we actually do it. But for y'all, what I want y'all to simply do is just stop assuming. I just want you to stop making assumptions, and I actually want you to apply for the roles and move forward, right? Because then the other thing that y'all are doing then is then you start to apply for other roles that you know you don't want. So then you really start to not see roles that don't align or that you're excited about. It's kind of crazy how y'all do this, right? Like and this is with love, y'all. I get like real excited, but but like this is with love. This is with love and support, because I just see, again, every time I come in here on LinkedIn, it's because I want to show y'all the cycles that y'all are putting yourselves through. You're saying, I don't see a role that I'm excited about, because you read a couple words on the job description. You either do apply, and then you go down the rabbit hole of like, well, I think I'm even gonna, some of you even pull out of the interview process before you even get more information. Or you get into the interview process and then you come across not excited, so then you don't get the opportunity and you don't learn everything you can about the role. Or you go down the role, the rabbit hole of like, you just don't apply, and then you start applying to other roles, right? And then both of those scenarios get you opportunities that you don't enjoy or that you're not excited about, right? Like opportunities that you're not excited about. So I'm thinking about another client where, he has been really looking for a very specific role, I would say. a mix of like consulting and a little bit of education, but also like social impact and very specific. And I'm like, you can find that role, you can get that role. He's like, but yeah, I don't see anything posted. Well, also for executive level roles, a lot of these roles aren't going to be posted, right? Or if you do see a role, everything you see on the job description, it's not going to be 100% maybe like what you're imagining. It's going to feel very task oriented. You're not going to see all the strategy and the different things. And so that was a big turnoff for him. And so for him, I'm like, okay, well, one, you might not be seeing roles that you're aligned with because actually every role that is available is not posted. Okay, every role that's available is not posted. So that is also a reason why, like, okay, you can't only rely on job description, you can't only rely on postings as well. And so for him, right, and with all my clients, we have a networking strategy that also helps you get roles that you're excited about. And so for him, this role actually ended up being posted, but you know how he got his foot in the door and everything was all through networking. But anyway, when he was applying for the particular role, there was like some questions. And after he did the questions, he was like, this is the first role that I actually saw myself getting excited about. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, that's kind of true, but it's mostly true because you actually put yourself in the shoes of the role and learn more about some aspects of the role, right? Like you did a little recon, talk to people in the organization, right? Like, so he actually learned more and got more data points. So hint, that's kind of some of the things that I'm talking about with my clients, right? Like the exact data points that you actually need in order to move forward, in order to actually assess if it's the right fit for you. Again, some of y'all are just taking things way too literal on the job descriptions. I think I've shared this story a million times too, but my one of my clients read a job description and it said 25% travel. I was like, please don't assume that they actually are doing that. Nobody's traveling in 2026 for real unless you're a salesperson. Like who's really traveling? And I know some people are traveling, right? But like I'm like the likelihood of it being true may not be the case, right? So she got into the interview, asked the questions, and they were like, oh, yeah, we're not traveling right now. Yeah, like, and we haven't traveled in a couple of years. I don't foresee that. Maybe it's 10% travel. So that's why y'all are like dismissing opportunity because outside of like one thing, you're like, this could be a great role. But I see this one thing or I see these three things, but none of it's based on real facts or data. So y'all got to stop making assumptions. You are missing out on opportunities. And I say this with so much love in different ways. And the more you dismiss roles, the more it impacts so many other things in your job search, right? I've talked a lot about the algorithm, the LinkedIn algorithm. When you dismiss roles that could be a good opportunity on LinkedIn knows, right? And I have a whole LinkedIn or podcast episode. Go to the HR Pivot podcast. I can't remember. It might be on my podcast where I talk about I think I have another episode that talks a little bit more about why you're not seeing roles. And I talk all about the LinkedIn algorithm and how all the stuff y'all doing is feeding the algorithm. And that's why y'all continue to not see roles as well. Right. So I know you're like, okay, but Lashanique, like, what if I know for sure that I don't want to do recruiting and it says recruiting on the job description? Again, you don't know for sure what that actually means to the organization, what that looks like, right? Until you learn more information. So you still need to apply. And that's why you're not seeing roles, right? Okay. So if you're the person that, okay, no, I'm applying and like I'm, being open and I'm actually I'm not like over scrutinizing the job descriptions. Partly the reason that you're not seeing roles that you like is that you don't know how to network to get opportunities that excite you. Right. So learning a networking strategy actually is going to be the most helpful for you. Right. It's going to be the most helpful for you, or finding staffing agencies that are going to be that go after the roles that you want are going to be most helpful for you. And so that's what I'll do in my Prime to Pivot program. I lay out for you all of the different things to ignore on the job descriptions. I give you guidance on what things could mean and probably don't mean on the job description. And then we brainstorm ways on actually how to figure out where exactly you can get the data from, right? Is it from the interview process? Is it from other places? So we brainstorm other ways that you can get the information before you rule out opportunities. before you rule out opportunities. Because if you're not applying to more roles, if you apply to like 30 roles in 30 days or 30 roles in 2 months, like that's not going to cut it. It's just not going to cut it, right? You have to apply for more opportunities and you have to network to get the opportunities that excite you. Okay. Okay, that's really all I had. Like I said, 15 minutes in flat. So, if you have been thinking about joining my Prime to Pivot program, now is going to be an amazing time. I'm literally throughout this whole month, like everything is getting refreshed so that you can get results faster, so that you can have more resources, way more lists of agencies, lists of ways to network, lists of ways to find roles outside of LinkedIn, how to find roles that you're excited about, how to evaluate roles that you're excited about. I mean, you're literally going to get all that, the titles to apply for, how to assess managers that bring you how to assess managers so that you don't get a terrible manager, right? So you go through all those things, how to get excited, what industries might excite you, like all the different things. So some of that stuff is in there, but some stuff will then be refreshed, or there will be more resources around all of that. I'm doing a lot of things around interviewing and how to just become an amazing storyteller. Like a lot of people are like, I just don't know how to be an amazing storyteller, how to sell your skills. Like everything is getting an upgrade. I'm given new networking templates that have gotten like more instant results and leading people to interviews. Um, more upgrades to LinkedIn, right? Again, a lot of the stuff we already do, but it's just getting a facelift for 2026. One of my clients yesterday, she reached out um, and she made like a small tweak to her LinkedIn, and she already got a request for an interview. I think she's been applying now for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, she's been applying. But yeah, and that's for an aligned role. It's for an aligned role, a role she's excited about. And so all these different stories of these people that I've shared with you today, they are getting more aligned roles because I have just seen everything at this point that keeps y'all from getting your roles that you're excited about, keep you from getting the roles that give you a pay increase, keep you from getting roles that all the different things, right? And so you're going to have answers to all of that in my program. My program is one-to-one. It's highly tailored to you. So while you have access to my modules and all my client portal right away when you sign up, you get one-to-one support with me, right? On a weekly basis, we are working together, partnering to figure out how do you move the needle. And that's what I think one of the amazing things about one-to-one coaching and being able to get that one-to-one support. Because when you think about it, like you might have a manager or you might have a mentor, and they're not 100% dedicated all the time to just what you need to move yourself more forward, especially in a job search or like what you want to do next. I mean, especially managers, right? Like they're like, oh yeah, we'll develop you. Oh yeah, we'll, and then you might have a couple conversations about development, but like this is going to be one of the most supportive places to be in 2026. If you have felt like you've not had that development, you've not had that opportunity to really focus on getting a role that excites you, getting the support on the role that excites you, this is your opportunity. This is your chance. This is your chance. And I would be an honor to be your coach. I always feel super duper duper honored when people entrust themselves in my coaching program. When we have one-on-one, like I truly, truly, truly deeply feel that. So if it is something that you want to explore, a free consultation call is for you. In the consultation call, I go through everything that's been going on with you, really fully evaluating what's been happening, what you've tried, what you've not tried. We dig in deep. I take a look at whatever I need. If I need to take a look at your resume, I take a look at that. And then I give you the top 3 things you would need to be successful. And then I walk through how my Prime to Pivot program can support you specifically. And then you can ask me all the questions you want, right? So that's kind of the layup of a consultation call. And yeah, 60 minutes together. And that will help you understand how you can move forward. understand how to move forward and how we can work together and partner so that you can get the role that you are most intrigued by, most excited by, so you don't have to make side steps. So you don't, if you don't want to be a generalist, right? You don't have to go and be a generalist, right? Stop applying for roles that you're overqualified for. Like you can stop doing all of that and wasting your time and just actually go after roles that you are genuinely excited about. I have one other last story that I'll share coming up. So I have another client. So the client that I was telling you about with the sales background, literally 3 referrals this week, right? Before, and she had been networking for months, right? Networking for months and now and trying to go off the roles that she felt like excited her, but not getting the traction, right? So not getting the traction. I mean, that's the next part. I know you not only want to see roles that you're excited about, but you do want to get that traction. And so for her, 3 referrals for 3 amazing companies. And essentially like I think all happened in like 1 week for her. Yeah, and I think we're just at the 30-day mark of working together. Again, she was doing all this like networking, but it wasn't generating the traction. So you can get roles here, and she's so excited. They're all the roles are actually a little different. And she's one of those people that because her background is so varied, she could do a couple different things. And I was like, girl, yeah, don't worry. We'll position you for all those few things and literally just getting interviews for a gamut of things that excites her, and that is so exciting for me. So I'm like, yes, it is possible. It is absolutely possible, and it doesn't have to be as complicated as y'all are making it, right? It doesn't have to be um you don't have to keep redlining everything and second guessing and letting things like imposter syndrome stop you from applying, right? Like you literally just need to know how you can move forward, what exactly it is you need to do. And for y'all, the first step, like I said, is stop assuming, stop making big assumptions. And then if you join Prime to Pivot, I'll give you the rest. You will get the rest. And you'll know again exactly how to get to the place that you want and how to do it faster. But yeah, I love y'all so dearly. Next week I'm on spring break, so I don't know if I'll do a live, but maybe. I've been loving talking, so we'll see. Hopefully I'll see y'all next week. Okay, bye y'all. Otherwise, go to the HR Pivot, my podcast. You'll get more information and more episodes there. All right, see y'all. Bye.